The title of my talk is The Creator Economy on Solana, building on-chain relationships and then monetizing them. That's a bit of a handful, but really I want to talk about kind of three things. So the first one is what we're building at Access Protocol, kind of the product suite, what's been our day-to-day experience of getting users onto the platform and kind of working in a space where we're trying to bring consumers who are both a crypto native audience, but then also trying to expand beyond that. Then the second is kind of the philosophy and the things that we are thinking about and learning as we're going through the process of building a business here. And also, finally, kind of what we think the next big steps are and the kind of important things that the ecosystem needs so that we're really able to get a lot of users, because the truth is that crypto is kind of still in a space where we have a lot of attention every now and then, a lot of hype, but we still don't actually have that many on-chain users, so that's really the problem that we're trying to tackle. So the short version of Access Protocol is that we're a Web3 subscription and monetization platform for creators. Right now we have about 250,000 wallets with subscriptions across like 50 creators, and on a daily basis that's about 1,000 to 2,000 on-chain users. And that's for us, it's a very good metric as well, because the on-chain users are the ones who are like subscribing or unsubscribing to things, but there are a lot more users who obviously use their subscriptions on a daily basis, but don't do an on-chain transaction. And we have companies such as The Block, CoinGecko, Woo Blockchain, CryptoSlate, and then like a long tail of different kinds of creators. We have a bit of a different subscription model, so the one that people are probably the most used to is you kind of pay $9.99 a month or something and you get your New York Times subscription. But for us, instead, it works so that you get ACS tokens and you lock them into a creator pool. And that creator pool is a creator like The Block, for example, who will gate some of their content, some of their pro content with this paywall, essentially. And once you do that, that's how the creator starts to make money in the ecosystem. So that's how you pay on like a continuous basis. And the way to think about that, I think is it's a bit weird as a subscription, but it's also one that I think a lot of users prefer in a way, where you subscribe instead of just the value extractive payment of like $10 a month. You instead basically subscribe to things by owning a part of our ecosystem and kind of benefit from the growth of creators and others on the platform. From the creator side, what we want to do is basically offer a new revenue stream. So instead of, or in addition to advertising, and instead of like the B2C subscription, you're able to use our subscription instead and kind of continuously earn dollars. From the user perspective, the only thing we really care about is this something that people will want to subscribe with instead of kind of using dollars. And that's the protocol side, and then the other side is us building products on top of the protocol. So the first one that we had was Publisher, which is kind of an on-site integration. So if today you go to the block.co or CryptoSlate, you'll see like our wallet at the top left button of the website, and you can subscribe through their flow. And that's kind of a bigger thing. It's for teams who have like an engineering team and are able to kind of build out their own unique paywalling mechanism. Then we have Newsletter, which is used by CoinGecko, that has over 100,000 users, and that's basically their premium newsletter. That's Gecko Ramblings that's published every 2 weeks or so. Then we have an individual publishing platform called Scribe, which is like a Medium Substack style of product, so it allows individuals who are writing, don't want to create that kind of full integration that some of our publishers do, to still get paywall behind content. So it's, you can, for example, there are people publishing a lot on like security, smart contract platforms, trading, things like that, and they gate like a part of their content. Then we have an NFT platform, Sketch, which is a no-code compressed NFT minting platform that are used by a lot of our creators, and that's also from the user side. It's like a gallery type of experience where you can see the NFT drops that you're getting and interact with these artists on that platform. Then we're also working on Discord, Telegram integrations as well. So you broadly can think that our base is that we have this monetization protocol that's underneath, and then on top there's all these different products that we're building to serve different types of creators. And the goal really is that we're not the ones building the products, and what we're seeing now is kind of more enthusiasm and starting to use our product and build on top of the protocol other products as well, and you're kind of able to just use the base layer of monetization, and we're building like the first versions of that. And yeah, to jump to kind of the on-chain relationship side, this is where I think the kind of creator economy starts to look very different, and the way people build products in the industry will look very different to Web 2. So when you start to do these different actions, you have more of a direct consumer-creator relationships that you tend to have in kind of any other area, and you connect with these creators in many different ways than you would normally. So you're not really siloed to like a particular platform. I think a good example of this with us is that we have like artists who do NFT drops to their subscribers based on some criteria of subscription tiers. And then they will use one of our platforms to do that, but then they will use another one of our platforms to write about what exactly is the kind of meaning behind their art, why they're working, and kind of their history, and that creates more of a deeper relationship. But then also beyond that, it's actually permissionless, because then people, for example, who didn't receive the drop or something, they'll go on Tensor and trade and sell or buy these NFTs from our creators. So it's not just the products that we're building, but you're kind of able to build products that tap into our creator ecosystem, and we grow because they grow, and they grow because we grow. So there's like a very positive relationship and a much kind of stronger feedback loop in terms of growth and yeah, much more direct kind of relationship where you don't have this platform lock-in, and you're able to kind of find the creators you're connected with kind of everywhere, just on different apps, and it can kind of surprise you. Yeah, and then this kind of similar relationship is especially from the business side. In Web 2, it's kind of very boring. You have your email list. The email list has value. You're trying to get a lot of people on your email list, and that's one thing. And then you may have like some credit card data that you hope not to lose. And here, when you're building products, it's actually really interesting that you're able to learn a lot about the user profiles based on what they do on chain, and really make your product and understand like the kind of product groups, user groups that other products have, and able to tailor to that. I had a great discussion with a founder who worked on like one of the biggest companies on their growth side, building that, and now is working in crypto. And he said that Solana, for example, is a really great place to actually build businesses and target users and creators, because you all have so much open data already, and you know so much about users, so you're really able to tailor your products based on that, versus like the Web 2 world, or then even like a world where you have like these different ecosystems that are kind of siloed from each other and don't talk to each other. You don't actually get the full kind of permissionlessness and being able to really tap into other products in the same way. So that openness is kind of very important here, and the fact that you're kind of able to build more tailored based on who the users are and target them, and that works in like advertising and so forth. Yeah, so with that, our kind of thesis is that the wallet becomes a default form of connection and communication between different kinds of creators and users and their audiences. So instead of the old world where you kind of have these individual silos of applications and companies, you instead have much more like import-export type of relationships between applications. A good example for us is we have a NFT creator who uses like music NFTs on our platform for like distribution, but then their actual stuff is like on Audius. So they benefit from kind of the growth of our ecosystem, but they also benefit from the growth of Audius as well. And yeah, the way we think about it is when you go on chain and look at this stuff, you have this kind of concept of total value exchange, where you see all these different interactions, can kind of sum them up and really understand the depth of like a user and their relationship with creators. One thing we've noticed very well is that leaning into kind of crypto native stuff works surprisingly well. So if you look at the creators on our platform, especially the smaller ones, they tend to be able to get their first 100 users a lot faster than they would on any other platform. And that's because of the kind of community element of people rallying around this ACS token. The existing creators benefit when other creators come in, grow kind of the value of their existing subscriptions already. They're very incentivized to share, to get people, get their kind of first 100 users, and that's probably the biggest strength of our protocol so far, is that especially if you're a bit smaller but you have really good content, you're able to bootstrap very quickly and kind of get a lot of community members and a lot of creators are on the same platform to share. So there's very like shared incentive among these creators. The only possible on Solana part here is, I think, quite interesting, which is that the cost of interaction on Solana is similar to what you're used to on the internet. So in the top corner, I have an image of our fee payer. So what we do is we pay user fees so that our users don't have to see that at all. It's an abstraction thing. It's very important because like some of the artists we have, they don't really know anything about crypto. They just kind of want to be paid and connect with audiences. Or then even like sites like The Block, you'd think crypto news sites, big ones, a lot of people would have like MetaMask installed and would know how to use crypto, but really that's not the case for like 90% of their users. So what we want to do is have like better wallets, kind of Google login onboarding, things like that, and the fact that they don't have to get Sol at all, it really helps as well. So we've paid for about 500,000 transactions on behalf of our users in the past few months, and that's been $100. On the side, I have MailChimp's pricing, which is essentially kind of the same. And it's very interesting to me that it's not just that the emails aren't the same thing as transactions, but they also kind of are. They're just like interactions that you're paying for. And the fact that Solana is already able to do interactions kind of at Web 2 scale means that there's an opportunity to build really good scalable consumer products for the first time and get us kind of out of this slump of very few number of users, and kind of the attention on the industry is kind of much larger than that, but really we want to have daily active users. And yeah, I think that's kind of leading to my final point, which is that when we're thinking about getting more users, it's the most important thing is just that we're able to build more stuff, I think. More stuff is important because the way to get to mainstream, at least in the short to mid-term, isn't going to be that someone comes up with this great thing and it onboards 100 million users. It's going to be all these different products kind of expanding the scope, bringing different types of users kind of one by one into the ecosystem. And for that to happen, first, it's good that we already have the kind of scalability that we're able to build those products. But second, we just need more real attempts at consumer products. That's the number one thing. And we need more tooling and infrastructure around that to form. But we need it to be, there's this thing in crypto that people build a lot of infrastructure, but there aren't these apps. You want to have apps that actually drive the infrastructure forward. And that's hoping that like protocols like us are able to do by really bringing tens of thousands of users in, and then kind of pushing the limits and realizing, oh, we need better and better, this kind of thing. So hopefully with the excitement that you see, for example, on Breakpoint, over the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see a lot more just attempts at consumer applications. So one thing we run into a lot that we hope that is kind of getting fixed is the wallet experience. The biggest problem for us is that you have to create like a wallet with private key and seed. That just doesn't work for 90% of the audience that we're targeting, and that's a huge problem. Then the second is that when you're building consumer products, you actually have to understand your customer funnel very well. So this is things like understanding they came from Twitter, having like referral links that you're able to share data between different stuff, bring that on-chain as well. When you're building consumer products, that's what you actually care about, really understanding the data in your funnel. That tooling doesn't exist for Web3. I think there's a great opportunity to kind of build social graphing, formalizing on-chain relationships, where you can take broadcast one-to-one relationships and kind of take that all on-chain, make it formalized so that people are able to build on top of it. That's something we're considering kind of doing if no one else does. And yeah, for user retention as well, just having more apps is more important, because there's only so many things you can do kind of in one app, and I think a lot of people have the experience of making, even if you're a power user of something like DeFi, you tend to make 1 or 2 transactions a week. Sometimes you'll do a lot in a small moment, then you won't do something for a long time. But more and more apps means that there's just people connecting with different parts of the ecosystem kind of all the time, and that helps us with customer retention as well. And also tokens are really good. They got kind of a bad rap over the past year, but I think we can see them next coming back and making really a big impact in terms of customer acquisition and growth. And when you're growing stuff, it's kind of like you have to find pockets of product market fit, which, for example, we have found in our opinion, and then tokens are the way to kind of drive through very quickly through that process of getting users until you get to kind of the next level and have to figure out where the next group of users come from. So it'll be like this kind of slow improvement, but then once we have a lot of these on-chain connections, I think that's when you putting them together in interesting ways is actually when you can get 100 million users on board. And yeah, to close, we're looking for creators always. Right now, we have about 50. We're onboarding faster than ever. This is across publications, individuals. So if you're writing about anything technical on Solana, or an artist who wants to get their work out there, yeah, please get in contact with us. We're hard working on our V2, which essentially has 2 things in it. It has a simplification part, which we think that will allow it to be kind of the subscription that's really hidden and make the experience very seamless. And then the second part is that there's going to be like inherent like growth incentives within the protocol, things like referrals to get more and more people onto the platform. And we kind of intend to get to, if now we're at 200,000 users, that's how we want to grow to the million. And we're kind of all the time we're talking with the teams who are at the cutting edge of building wallets or those sorts of things, so that we can get the best possible solutions for us and actually convert audiences onto our protocol. But yeah, thank you very much.